Yeah.
Geek, are you set
Make
up
sure
too, guys?
to increase the voice of your mic, by the way.
I've tried. I think I'm just gonna have to yell at the camera. I
Yeah,
don't know
just try
where.
to yell then. Yeah.
I can't find where my regular microphone is, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna yell at everyone.
Oh.
I just want to make sure that there we go. Yeah, we're live. Dun, 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 Bing, bong, bing, bong. All right. Yo, so this is LP Jam number 14. So excited about this one because I have some really exciting announcements to share with everyone. We've got an awesome guest today. We got Free Bandito. That's who Daniel is. So he's going to be teaching us a little bit. And then we're just going to get back to kind of like the regular basics. We might LP one or two positions. I want to talk to chat about some of the LPs that we've done over the weekend. There's been like a ton of action in the meme space. And then, like I said, I have a couple announcements that I want to share. I might like drip feed them throughout the jam just to make it more exciting. But we're going to try and find some ways to get some more engagement from our audience and also reward some people who have been here showing up week after week and try and get the audience paid, better educated, better fed, get them everything they need to be happy, healthy, and fit. So with that being said, let's have our panelists do a quick introduction. Yusuf, if you want to start, and then we'll go
Absolutely.
Daniel
Hello,
and Geek.
everyone. My name is Shisha. I've been here for the many last LP jam episodes. I'm 19 years old. You guys probably know that. um, and I work with Photon as well. I also spend a lot of time in the Meteora community as an LP Army moderator. So yeah, that's a little info about me.
Hey, I guess I'll do a little introduction. My name's Dan. I'm Free Bandito. You know what? I'm so sorry. Just give me 1 second.
And he's gone. We scared him away, chat. We got to be nicer to our guests today. Geek, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's let
So
Go
sorry
ahead. Go
about
ahead,
that.
Dan.
So sorry about that.
no problem.
Yeah, I'm Dan. I'm Free Bandito. I live in Philly and I market make, man. I market make because for too long, big corporations market make because they have inside deals and they make a shit ton of money and we can't. But now in crypto, we can market make with fucking $1. So I love it.
Yes. Yeah, once we get into the jam, I'd love to hear a bit more about your story and then some of the tips that you have about how to be a better market maker.
Yeah, we'll do. I got some notes here.
Geek, it's your shot.
All right, awesome. I'm Geek Lad, George Sierra. I'm based out of South Florida. Um, Dan, I'm actually going to be up in the Philly area. I'm going up to Paoli next week, so maybe we can try to hook up
Nice.
if it's not too far for you. But um, but yeah, I've been in the crypto space for a number of years now. I started on Solana in like 2017, or no, not Solana. I started in Ethereum 2017, doing some crypto mining on GPU cards. Did a lot of DeFi on Ethereum back before transactions cost you an arm and a leg. When Solana came to be, it was my safe haven from Ethereum fees, and it was a great place to do DeFi. Built some arbitrage bots, and when the Jupiter SDK came out, and got a nice airdrop in Jupiter. And the airdrop in Jupiter is what brought me over to Meteora. When I found out about the platform that they were going to launch on, I became really interested in Meteora, and came for the points, stayed for the fees, right, like everybody else. And really excited about the future of Meteora. One thing that I saw that Meteora lacked was really market maker education. A lot of people were interested in the platform, but they didn't really know how to use it. They didn't know what impermanent loss was. So, I helped establish some boot camps that we had, where we taught people how to use the platform, how to market make, and taught some basic strategies and stuff. So, really excited about these LP jams, and almost kind of an extension of the boot camps in a way. It's a great opportunity to learn about advanced strategies, and actually watch Teddy Roosevelt do his thing, and read charts and figure out, what's a good entry point, exit point, setting your parameters, your lower end of your range, your upper end of your range, selecting the right markets. So it's yeah, it's a great place to be, and I'm psyched about being here today.
Let's go. Yeah, so I want to really quickly, before we get into the LP discussion, I want to talk to the audience about one thing that we're going to start doing. So we've been listening to your feedback. Oh, and that reminds me, Yusuf, if you don't mind, can you create another Google form with the same question as normal? But a
Okay,
lot of
cool.
people have been asking to get profit distribution going again. And ever since we stopped doing that for just people showing up, we've been trying to find ways to do a profit distribution that's like holistic and aligned with our long-term goals. When we were just giving away profit to people for showing up, we kind of had people who were showing up just to farm that profit. And it wasn't really going to be, it wasn't satisfying what we were really trying to accomplish, which is creating an environment where people are motivated and incentivized to get better at DLMMing. And so the thing that I want to start testing out is essentially giving people like little microtransactions for rating our posts on Twitter. And so we're going to start just by doing it with like a manual verification. I've got somebody from our audience who's going to help out with verifying these rates. But really what I want to do is like, we want to do like 1 to 2 posts a day, whether it's like a really high quality DLM strategy that someone from the community has created. But I also want to use rating to get the attention of KOLs so we can get some really big KOLs on the jams, and also maybe doing some like in-house collabs with them. So in order for you to be eligible to do this, you're going to have to get the LP Army private role. And so if you haven't gone through bootcamp already, it's a great reason for you to go through bootcamp. And then what it'll do is throughout the course of the week, we'll post on Discord some of the posts that we want you to rate. And you can go there, we'll put like a meme that you can repost or just like a little comment that you can repost. And then for people who don't have a whole bunch of capital right now to start earning like a little bag that they can then use for deal distribute profits. But once again, like we're going to do a feedback form later in the session. If you have any ideas or think it's a good or a bad idea, please let us know and we'll try and incorporate all your ideas into the future jams. So that's it for kind of like announcements. And what I would love to do right now is I'd love to take a look at one of the LPs we've had open over the weekend, and we can start off the jam with that kind of discussion and then get into just some like open sharing and talking about LPing and ELMMs in general. Me that you had actually LP this as well, and this is a position that we have. So I want to just walk you all through my thought process, and I'll show you all what our position is, and then I'd love to have Geek and Daniel share their thoughts and let us know what they think. And then if anyone in the audience has feedback as well, that's great. So Magnet is kind of like a hyphy token that launched a few days ago. It took like a really big run up, and then it's just been like bleeding off over time. I actually set up an LP right here where I bought some Magnet and was going to try and catch this bounce, but I didn't like the volume that I was seeing, and so I decided to exit our upside position and just do a downside position. Guys, if you're trying to catch a reversal, one thing that you need to take a look at is the volume. So like if you see down, we're going to get more sell off. Whereas if you see downward price action plus an increase of volume, that's usually going to signify a bottom. So let's take a look at our position here. And I've modified it a bit. So I want to walk you guys through what I've done to try and like maximize our profit in this. And then we'll just open it up for discussion and hear what everyone else thinks. Oh, that's the wrong bullets. What do y'all think about Magnet, chat? And fellow panelists, you think we're being too aggro here? I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Can you draw out your ranges on the chart?
Yeah. So my LP is really strange now because I've modified it a couple times, but I'll kind of walk you guys through what I've done and share my insight as to why I've done that. So this is our top right here. This is where we entered into the position. I kind of, if this is our actual bottom, I kind of knocked it out of the park. But
Maybe
so,
draw another line for sort of where your real liquidity starts as well, whatever price that is.
what do you mean real liquidity?
Like so you've got like on the left end you've got sort of like a really very thin, yeah, exactly, that mark right there. Okay.
Yeah, so like I was telling you guys earlier, I actually opened a position with an upside
Yeah.
yesterday, and I saw a little pump here, but I didn't like the volume, and so I closed it down. And then the majority of our liquidity was placed underneath. And so anytime I'm doing like a retrace like this, I like to go below the 786 because that gives us some cushion in case we go past it. And in this case, like I nailed it, like I hit it spot on. It's like 0.5% away from our actual bottom. This is the bottom. But again, hindsight's 2020, and not every position is perfect. But with what I saw here, so like essentially we have just two really big sell blocks. This is like the first attempt at a reversal, and like the reason that like yeah, anytime you see like a big sell off like this, and also anytime you see like a really big run up, the faster a coin runs up, the harder it sells off usually, because you never have time for people to become conviction holders. Everyone's buying this because it's hyped, not because they're like, yo, I freaking love magnet emojis. And so if you have a really big run up, you should be mindful that you're probably going to get a bigger sell off and set up your liquidity accordingly. But so I started right here, which is like, this is a pretty conservative range because we have all of our liquidity in this really low bottom end. And so like, I'm pretty comfortable with that, but it's going really well so far. And what I've done to convert it is when I first started, I had the opposite of this distribution. I did a little bit of spot, and I like doing spot across the range to increase our fee generation. But like 60% of our capital was a bid ask headed towards this bottom end. And then as the position or as prices trended downwards, what I do is I'll do like a withdraw. And most recently, I took out 90% of our capital because we had just essentially bought Magnet over this price range. I took out 90% of our capital. I didn't add our soul back in because we had a little tail down here. I decided to not add our soul back in case, because if price dumps from here, it's like, oh, we're kind of screwed. And I'd probably close with a stop loss. So I remove our Solana, and then I added, I think it was like 20 to 30% in spot. Once again, it's kind of just like my finesse play. That's what I like to do to increase fees. But I added like 20% back in spot, and the rest got put back in bid ask. So as we're moving down in price, we're accumulating fees. We've done like $1,000 in fees so far, a little bit more than that. And we're essentially dollar cost averaging into this position as price moves down. And then by flipping our position, we're able to sell our coins theoretically, as long as price goes up. Cross your fingers, chat. But we should be able to sell our coins for an aggregate more of what we paid for them. So that's what I've done. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and why this is a good or a bad idea, or how we could do it better.
I like it overall. Let's go back and take a look at the chart.
Actually, I really like we're getting like a big surge in volume right now, which is we're also up 30% on the last hour, which is,
Yeah.
makes me
I
feel pretty
wonder
comfortable.
I wonder if we bring down the top range a little bit because you can see there was some support slash resistance a little bit lower than that.
I'm talking about right here.
Yeah, maybe around there. And then so that way you concentrated a little bit more, generate a bit more in fees. What do you think?
I don't like that because we'd probably take some IL hit if we close out our whole position at this lower price range. And also like, so to me, I think that this coin is gonna range all the way up here, probably back like we're at 4 million right now. I think we go close to the 10 million mark again, just because of there's two reasons that I think that's a correct hypothesis. One is the volume metrics on the first day were really high. So we know that there were people trading this, and there's probably people who are waiting for entry. And then two, the other reason that I like this is because there's so many KOLs with the magnet emoji in their profile that it's gonna get like a lot of attention just by like regular people posting, whether they're intentionally posting by the magnet emoji or not. Um, I think this goes higher again, but I could be wrong.
How are we doing with fees so
Oh,
far? Sorry.
wait, yeah, I'll just provide a very good point here because, as Hayden said, right, this coin here launched from a tweet made by a very, very, very famous KOL called Rocky XPT, right? He literally just made a tweet about a magnet, and then someone launched the pub fund on it. And in his name, there's a magnet icon as well, right? And this guy has like, I think he has more than 1 million followers on Twitter, right? So there are clearly some people that like this coin, support it in one way or another, and that is very important, especially for new meme coins. Someone asked in the chat though, to you, Hayden, right? How often do you see coin move back up, right? Because we just saw that the chart has taken a big hit over the past
Yeah.
2 days, right? How often do we see these coins move back up to where they started dipping?
I would say 70% of the time. And so that's not saying that Magnet is going to be like a runner and it will become like a new established meme coin. But like anytime you see something get this much volume in a short period of time, so what this is doing is it's grabbing people's attentions on crypto Twitter. So we did, I don't have, we'll look at the app, or we can look at the daily chart. But so we look at the daily chart. We did 33 million on day one and 54 million in volume on day two. And so this is now essentially on people's radar because it was top of the charts on trending for these 2 days. There's not a lot of coins that are doing this much volume. And so now what it's done is it's created a new potential play for people who are waiting for a good entry. So we're at 80% down from the all-time high, so that's like a really attractive price. And so this does one of two things. It either sees a bounce here and it gives like another attempt up and then it sells off to nothing, or maybe it becomes like an established meme and it bounces and then ranges and then does another breakout. I don't think it dies off completely on this cycle. You almost always see a secondary movement on coins that are this like hyped or have like that much attention. Want to give a good example of a coin that's done really similarly.
Hey, how do you catch this in the first place? Like deck screener trending with volume?
So I have a custom bot that automatically pings me on Telegram whenever a coin has X amount of volume. But like the good thing I think to do, like first off, there's I gotta find a website for you guys real quick.
Yeah, I can also add a few points to this, right? Like there are many tools out there right now. Yeah, so the link that Hayden will go to right now is a very good tool that you can use to find pools that are printing a lot of money. You can also use HawkFi or MetLex. MetLex also has a tab where you can see the best performing pools. Same goes with HawkFi. HawkFi has a like the main page just shows you all the pools that print in decreasing order, right? So so the pool that prints the most is the top one, right? So just by looking at these 2 pages or 3 pages, you can actually get a very good insight on what coins you should probably LP if you want a lot of fees.
I think essentially what you need to do in order to LP well is you need to be in the trenches, so to speak, and you need to essentially recurrently or like regularly update yourself to see which coins are doing really crazy volume. Anytime I see a coin doing like $300,000 to $400,000 volume in the 5 minute, I'm like, okay, this is something I definitely want to LP. I then do my due diligence and do my best to figure out if it's a rug or not, because like usually you don't want to LP rugs. It's a pretty aggro strategy. And then like once I've determined that if it's like a rug or not, and we can actually look into, we'll take a look at how to do that later in the episode today. But once I've determined if it's a rug or not, I then try and estimate like what a potential top will be. And we can do that based off of volume and then also some other kind of like metrics. And then if I'm early enough, like say I estimate something is going to be a $10 million top, like if I'm like super early, then I might buy a bag and LP the top end. but most of my LPs are retraces where I look at like a short-term top. I try and take a position like 10 to 50% down. So a little bit from the top all the way down to like a 50% retrace. And then I try and catch that range trading that occurs as people are FOMOing into a coin after essentially I try and like pull fees from people who are top lasting. And that's like a really consistent way to LP well.
Mm.
But so this is a coin swarm. I freaking LP'd this. Bro, I was doing so well and then it dumped and I exited. I freaking panic sold at the bottom. But so this is like a slightly smaller coin relative to um, Magnet, but it did 15 million on day one, 14 million on day two. And so any of these projects that are really big, they probably have market makers behind it, and they're working to do one of two things. Like the first is they want to get a lot of hype and attention so that people are interested in buying. And then after that's occurred, they want you to sell so that you can give liquidity back and other people can buy back in. And so whether this is like completely organic action or this is people market making behind the scenes, you saw a big move up, a sell-off down past the 786, an accumulation phase, and then another big run up. And so the question for this one is Swarm going to stay around? Is it going to have a third move? Or is this kind of
Exactly.
its death spiral? But we did have a strong second move, and this is like a really, really strong second move. So if you break the 5 million mark and you've shown significance and it's not a rug, you have a pretty good chance of having a second move. And so like either you catch this chop here and you exit quickly, or you try and catch the fee generation during this accumulation phase and then sell at the next breakout. Those are the two LPs that I really like.
Yeah, I guess the most important question is whether if it's gonna rug or not, man. Because sometimes those coins, like they really scare you, man. Like I was actually also looking at Swarm the other day when it launched. I'm not joking. I didn't LP it. I was just looking at the chart on Photon, and bro, like that was it was looking so scary, bro. Like I was seeing candles up and down, up and like within a few seconds, right? I probably cannot LP like coins like those myself because I know that I will. They're just too many emotions, right? That can get in and essentially wreck your trade. Like I could never take an 80% retrace within say 2 hours or 1 hour and not sell it, right? Like I would instantly sell it if I saw a coin dump 80%. But in this case, we saw it actually did dump 80%, right? And then it just pumped like 1,000% or something like that, right? So yeah, there's some very interesting psychology behind all of this.
I think one thing that's really relevant is to try and separate the LPs into top and bottom ranges. So like the reason that I made a mistake, and I actually took an L where we did like $4,000 worth of fee generation on an 8K LP, and I closed the position with a $1,000 loss. And so like the price on Swarm dumped so quickly, so fast that I took a big IL and we didn't do enough in fees to offset it. So I think the moral of that story is to kind of differentiate your LPs into two different categories. You have your top range, which is usually from like the top to your 50% retrace. This is where you'll usually see resistance and support, or excuse me, support occur. And so like in this case, what we could have done, say we open up our LP here, we could have ridden it all the way through this. This would have been like your diamond hands moment where you're like, oh, I got a hold. But you could have had a really great exit here at any of these three local tops and probably closed with a decent profit. But then like, unless you see a breakout here, and the thing is like breakouts do occur, but they're the 1 out of 10 situation. And so you'd be better off closing your position at one of these tops in every case. And then if you do see a breakout, you can open a new position up here once it's kind of like confirmed the breakout. But I ended up taking an L because I was like, bro, this is definitely going higher. This is definitely going higher. And then I bag held the whole way down and freaking yeeted at the bottom, like the most like pure yeet behavior that's possible. I did. And so like, to me, like in hindsight, like I should have I should have closed the position when we were at a sizable profit, and then either if we break out, I can open again up here, or we can do our
Wait,
second.
it's the Michael card.
No, I know. I was just like kind of describing. You see a
Okay,
similar
yeah.
thing here.
Yeah,
The second like range that I really like LPing is this bottom end from the 50 down to the 786. And so let's say we opened here, which is what we essentially did. We probably like, assuming that this coin gives us another run, what will probably happen is something like this. I don't know how high it'll go, but you probably see some range trading with an uptrend here. And then once again, once you get to like the top of your range, you should probably, unless you have like inside alpha or you're super, super bullish on something, you should probably close once you get to the top of your range and lock in the gain as well as the fees. Because as equally likely as it is to see this occur, you can also see this occur. And so if you get up here, you should probably lock in your position and shut it down and just close for a W versus trying to hodl longer and book more profits. That's what
Yeah.
I've kind of learned.
Yeah, I think that those are very good points you brought up, Hayden.
Dan, talk to us about what LPing you do and like what's your kind of strategy for market making?
Yeah, sure. So I don't really market make a lot of these meme coins like this. You know, everyone has their own risk tolerance and all that. Um, but what I like doing is I like holding yielding assets, stuff like JLP. You guys all know JLP. It's Jupiter's LP token for their perpetual contract.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, that chart is just up and to the right. And I don't know if you guys know ISC, International Stablecoin.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude, I love ISC too. So like on Meteora, I'm in an Infinity, which is, you know, Staked Soul, that's Sanctum's Staked Soul LST ISC pool. So they're both going up. I mean, obviously I expect Soul to go up more than ISC. But I'm in that, and it ranges between like zero point 0.2 and zero point 0.4 daily APR, which like might sound underwhelming, but that's like 73 to like 150% APY. And you know, these are on assets that I would just be holding otherwise. So it's like not
it's more if you compound your fees too.
dude, exactly. That's APY without compounding.
Yeah.
And then my biggest, yeah, if you just look INF IASC.
Yeah, okay, so should I search for an INF IC pool?
Yeah, that one here. What's it at now? Oh, is that pretty? Well, there's a bunch of them, I guess. Yeah, what's that at? 0.33? Exactly. So that's, you know, somewhere in the range of like 120% APY.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, there's no downside risk. I mean, obviously Sol can go down, but like we're obviously all here super bullish on Sol. ISC isn't going to go down dramatically. So it's just pure upside risk to me. But my biggest LP is in a Saber pool. If you go on saberdao.io, I don't know if you guys have used Saber much. Been around for a long time, derugged by a community, great DAO. What up, MK? Uh, and they specialize with a lot of LST pairs that go up and down together. So, you know, less than permanent loss. And it's concentrated liquidity. So I actually here, let's see if I can send a screenshot in the chat. Every week, I don't think I can. Every week, Saber will tweet the highest yielding pools, usually like 20+%, like a good 8 of them, 7 or 8 of them, and a lot of them are just different LST pairs. Jupe Soul, Jito Soul, B Soul, V Soul, you know, all that stuff. And they're getting like 20+% APY. A lot of it is in the Saber incentives, but you could sell that every day and reinvest it. So this is just my staked Soul, and it would just be sitting in a wallet otherwise. But instead, I'm LPing it and I'm making like 20% APY off assets that are making what, 7-8% APY because they're staked. And that's the best part. The underlying asset is still all staked Soul exposure. Yeah, that's a link there. So that's my biggest play. I also use Orca.so or ORCA.so. And they're
Hmm.
pretty similar where they allow you to concentrate liquidity on like similar pairs. And I'm in some more ISC pairs. I'm in a JLP ISC and an Infinity ISC. And I got those pretty concentrated. Like between the JLP ISC one, it's like a 1% range. So the thing is like you need to monitor that because you can be trading out of range and not getting fees. But
Yeah.
that's like around the same APY, like 75 to like 150%. Um, and another thing with ISC is they do have a like a point system for their upcoming like DAO token. Um, if you go to Prospera, I think I linked it. Um,
Yeah, I did link it. Yeah.
yeah,
Guys, I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm
If you
gonna
go
run
to
to the bathroom for a
Prospera,
second. I'll be back.
yeah, sure. If you go to Prospera, it'll show you a lot of these pools. And yeah, this is obviously I know you guys focus more on, up and coming tokens and real hitting it out of the ballpark LPing. But if you have, separate funds for staked soul, obviously there's protocol risk and do your own research and all that.
Mm.
But it's about making your money work for you. And especially, dude, all summer we've been trading sideways. And you need some sort of like constant income where like if you're trading sideways, you're still profiting off that. And then if
Exactly.
things go
Exactly.
up, you still have your spot bag. So no matter what, you're winning?
Mm. Yeah, I'm just interested in. I just have one specific question here. Since you mostly LP, less volatile coins, right? Like
Hmm.
you try to target that 1.125 APY, which is obviously very good, but compared to meme coins, right? You can easily get like 10,000 APY on meme
Of
coins.
course.
So I'm just curious, like, do you make a living out of LPing these?
No,
Okay,
no,
so
this is basically just something I'm doing on top of my spot bags.
okay,
I'm just
yeah,
trying to make the money I have work for me. This
yeah,
is probably the money I'm using is probably more midterm savings, 3 to 5 years. Um, Eventually pay
yeah,
for a wedding and maybe a trip to Italy, and I can propose to my girl there. But we need solid
yeah.
200 first. Um, so yeah, I'm not making a living off this now.
Okay,
But
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, it's if you already have exposure to Stake Sol or ISC or JLP, definitely like a different type of bag than your meme coin bag. I
Mm,
stay away from meme coins. It's, like if you're market making meme coins and you're really stressed out, it's probably not for you. I just don't have the spare money right now. If I had another grand in crypto, I probably maybe would be trying more of these risky, just because I had the funds. Um,
mm.
but honestly, right now with Sol being at like 150, I mean, I want everything in that, dude, because I'm ready for that to double.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I think we'll see some very, very bullish weeks ahead of us now. But yeah, I think it's very important that you're mentioning this, Not everyone is like needs to invest into meme coins and make LPs in meme coins because it can be very stressful. Those meme coins can go up like crazily and they can also dump crazily, right? Without you expecting it. It's quite hard to actually make a bulletproof analysis on whether the coin will go up or down, right? So it's definitely meme coins is definitely not for everyone. And I think it's very good that you mentioned this exact point here.
Yeah, I just can't afford to lose any money right now.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
it's
so to me,
definitely yeah.
ISC, JLP, those aren't going to zero.
Dan,
Yeah.
have you looked at HawkFi? HawkFi is
I'm sorry.
is have, all right, I'll wait for him to come back. But um, I think for the strategies that he's looking at, HawkFi might be beneficial to look at because you can it'll automatically do the rebalancing for you when you're out of range and everything else. So
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah.
you do have to
Yeah,
pay, I think.
Hawkeye is cool. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. But yeah, I like the strategy and the mindset, and to your point, the APYs are just kind of ridiculous when you compare it to what you're doing if you're just holding the token
Yeah,
or
it's
or
so
putting it in
funny
a savings account.
we can talk about doing these meme coins and getting like crazy APY, yet doing maybe my strategy, which is a bit more conservative, it's still getting like
Mm.
ridiculous APY. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe in crypto you think, doubling my money in a year isn't that crazy, but go to any fucking hedge fund and say that, and they'll be like, dude, take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I know, I know.
Yep.
Y-
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I recently ISC is starting a little DeFi community to start doing education. It's called Rare for get rich and retire early.
Yes, I saw that,
Um,
bro. Yo,
dude, yeah.
how do we get in?
Dude, I don't they just had like an application thing and dude, what's your Twitter handle?
Saving my soul.
That's
Saving my
a good
oh,
name,
nice,
bro.
bro. Um yeah, I can mention yeah, I think they're gonna want to be adding more people. But right now it's just like a group chat of like-minded people. Um
Yeah, so
and
nice.
we're talking about all these strategies. And it's like if you actually plan out for like if you can double your money every year, like in 30 years you can retire, you know?
Yeah, you're mega rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point it gets to a point of not losing money. I've also, I've lost a lot of money in crypto as well. I'm I think my first year in crypto I lost 7 grand. To me that was a lot. I don't know if to everyone that is, but now I can
It
say
is a
we're
lot
in
of money, yeah. It is
yeah,
a lot of money.
now I can say we're happily in profit.
That's
Well
awesome.
done, man. I think many people like can agree to that, right? Like I've also lost a lot of money. I've even been rugged before, man. Like actually scammed by someone I knew, right? So I also it happens. It does happen, yeah.
Bro, if you haven't been rugged in crypto, you're not doing it right. That's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
like you need to experience it at some point.
all right, so
Yep,
I want
you live and you learn. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop off. I'm really grateful that you guys invited me and I was able
to,
to talk. I just
yeah,
have to get back to work, but this was awesome. Good talk, guys.
yeah, thanks, Dan.
See you, Dan.
All right, good luck
Thank
with your pools.
Thanks.
thank you, Daniel.
All right, see ya.
See you.
Yo, I want to take a look at a coin that's kind of ripping right now. Oh, what's up, Ben? We got Ben in the house. Hey, what up, Ben? Hopefully, I don't wreck this trade. Ben watching. So this is a coin called Medusa. Not financial advice. Do your own research, but it's on the top of the fee generation. And so what I want to do is walk you all through my thought process for like quickly analyzing a coin like this to see if it's something that can help you well. So the first thing that I do is I look at the top holders, and what I'm trying to figure out. This is sick. I want to see if essentially what I want to do is I want to find people who have large balances, not including this token. So if I look at these top holders and they're only having like one soul plus a big bag of this token Medusa, then that's kind of a red flag because either that's like a bunch of insider wallets that bundled, or it's just like a bunch of essentially like nobodies who got really lucky on this coin and are gonna exit quickly whenever they're in a big profit. So this dude has 32 million. Okay, this is actually really bullish.
That's likely the radium pool, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
dude, like 32 million, bro. That's a lot of money, man.
But here, this is a big whale, 600K,
Yeah.
another 150K, 200K. So yeah, this is probably a legit coin. Let's pull up a couple more top holders. I like to do 20, but my internet right now is kind of whack, and I was getting the little captcha botted by SoulScan. They weren't letting me look up top holders. But so that's a good sign. So far, we saw a few people who are like established traders that have big bags, and they have like other coins. So like if you see like say you see like a big Mudang whale that has a bag of this, or like a big whiff whale, essentially what they're doing is they're taking a portion of their bag. Here we go. Like this dude has 100K in Rocky. They're taking a portion of their bag and trying to get like another winner. And so anytime you have someone who's like gotten a big win already, or they have like a 500,000 in their bag, they're more likely to hold than someone who just like got really lucky on Pump Fun and now has 100K in their wallet. And they're like, oh fuck yeah, they're taking that profit. So this is 200K. So this is really bullish to me. So our holders look good. One thing that I really want to do is I want to have a bot that will monitor the top holders and tell me if they're exiting or if they're adding more. If anyone wants to build that for me, send me a DM.
Yeah, that would be very useful.
So the next thing that we want to do is we want to scan the token. I've shouted this out a bunch of times. It's called Cyrax. It lets you see how bundled the launch was. All these launches are going to have some bundling. If you see something that has like 50% or more, that's usually like a really big red flag.
No, do you mind if I just ask a question here? Like,
Oh, please.
I want to challenge this notion that like bundling, if it's bundled, the token will do bad. Like, is that actually true? Has people actually correlated that, or or is it?
I mean, I'm definitely biased because I've seen bundled tokens that I got rugged on. And so if you look at this one, 80, so yeah, 100% of the curve was bundled. And so it's not a steadfast rule because on one hand, this could be a group of insiders that were bundling the token so that they can then dump on people, but this could also be the team bundling it so that they have token control and they can better control the price. So I don't think it's a steadfast rule, but it's something that alerts me. I've seen more tokens at the 20 to 30% bundle range that have done well than I've seen at the 50% plus range. But there was the one token that launched a while ago where the dev intentionally bought the whole bonding curve so that he could control more of the liquidity. And so that can be bullish, but again, it's definitely something that causes me to be concerned.
Yeah, I agree. Like Chartfu also mentioned this actually. Like whenever he scans a token address, right? Like he actually gets bullish if a large percentage of the token supply has been bundled, because that means the team, or it can mean that the team actually has the token in mind, right? They want to control the majority of the supply to prevent people from nuking the token, right? So I think it depends. I think you simply just need to analyze the token, the team, make sure you know. Like it would definitely be good if you knew who actually made the coin, if they actually had a vision. And then you could combine that with the fact that they've bundled the coin, because if you have a team that has a vision, you've seen that they are a great team. They consist of great team members, and that they've bundled supply, then that could be a very good combination. But it could also mean that they want to rug the token at some point.
I'll tell you I mean, look, I've worked with a number of teams now. And the most often it's not like this is not 100%, right? But like most often the people are dumping are like snipers, they're KOLs or other people that have gotten token supply, and they're trying to cash out or get out, right? And they have enough supply to crash the chart. It's not always really the team, because I mean it depends, but the team has reputational risk, right? Like the team. Yeah, I mean, look, they may not be the case. I'm not saying it's 100%. Okay, I'm just trying to challenge the notion that like bundling, like they're gonna dump. I mean, look, even if someone is not doxxed, by the way, like they're probably behind the scenes telling their friends to buy their token, like people who know them. And if those guys lose out, like, well, that's the last time they ever ask for money again, right? Or
Yeah.
ask for support or anything. Like they burn their rep within all the circles that they, trying to get the token, trying to get support for their project, right? So, um, I mean, only if like you're truly a non and doing some really hypey shit, maybe like you don't care and you just like, all right, fuck it, like, but which I think a lot of this is why I think there's a problem with maybe some of the like the pump fund type models where like people just like they're non, they just have an idea, they like, get the like get in early with the token and it goes up some ways and they just dump and they don't care and they just start over again.
Mm.
But a lot of the projects that like have a plan to go longer for it and want to control the supply seem to, I mean, they at least legit like seem genuine about like trying really hard. And I can't, I don't think people know like the efforts. I've mentioned this before. Like it just they work really hard. It's a lot to launch token, man. Like it really is. So
To do it the right way.
I,
Yeah, for sure.
I guess, yeah, I guess
yeah,
the most important thing is that you like analyzing whether if they bundled the supply isn't enough by itself, right? You need to analyze the team as well. Make sure if you can join their Telegram chat, chat with the team members, chat with some admins in there. Make sure that they actually have a vision, or there's some people that have their credibility online. But in regards to this token here, Hayden, right? I just wanted to say that it seems like it's writing this AI narrative, right? Made
Yeah.
by Goat.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out what exactly it is because someone on Twitter is saying that it has a connection. So this is an interesting tweet. It says, just talked with a friend at NVIDIA. Everyone at their morning briefing just 30 minutes ago was looking down their phones. They're looking at Medusa. We realized it's the best new AI tech. And so Medusa.
He's lying.
Well, so why do you think he's lying?
Dude, like, okay, so first of all, Sugar, like that specific guy, from my experience, he posts a lot of, he's a shit poster, right? So many of his posts cannot fully be relied on. Like, I think, so
Well,
when he's saying that,
what is Medusa? What is
what?
this coin? Like, what is this coin is what I'm trying to understand. Because they're saying it's an AI coin, and
Yeah,
I'm trying to
it likely
understand
is.
what it is.
It's likely is. Like, like a few hours ago, there was another AI coin called Shagen. It's also making a lot of volume right now. It's literally similar to
Go.
Medusa coin here.
Are they
It's making
trying?
like what?
Are they trying to like replicate what Goat is doing?
Yeah, they are, man. Like, I think they are. That would make a lot of sense if they are, because Goat has obviously like gotten a lot of hype.
I got to figure out what this thing is. So, really quickly, I want to walk you guys through what I've done so far. So, we open our position right around here, and I put our bottom down here at I always do that, at 0.10. So, like, because I didn't know anything about this coin, I like the top holders, but I was kind of sketched out by not knowing more. I was like super conservative where I was allocating our Solana. So we have this entire price range um, where we can capture fees. And then at this short-term bottom, I picked up a 4 sol bag. So we got 10 sol underneath and 4 above. And then if we get another dump down, I'm gonna buy another spot buy, because like what I really like to do and what I want to see in this position is I want to see ranging in this area. Um, and so what I've noticed is that if this coin is legit, we will probably see 1 to 2 hours of price volatility in this range. And so like I want to have a little bit on top so we can capture fees up here, and maybe we get a breakout and then we do really, really well. The worst case scenario is it's a rug and it bleeds off to nothing, and in that case we get wrecked, but we would probably be wrecked either way. So I'm playing for a win, and hopefully the cumulative wins offset any losses we take. Oh Jesus, my transaction didn't go through. That's lame.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting coin. I think it's worth to mention that it pumped 100% over the last hour, so there's definitely room for it to dump a lot, right?
Yeah, of course. Um, but I think usually, so if this is not a rug, it will range trade in this top end range for
I
1 to 2
agree.
hours. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen a coin that's not a rug uh, not do that, and that's because like so if we look on trending, it's number 2 on trending. People have paid for this, so it's got like someone behind it trying to push it. But what happens when you have a coin like this that has gathered so much attention is there's two things. One is you have bad traders who buy this top range, and they also buy here, here, and here because they're late to the game and they're making an emotional decision. And then you also, in the case that this goes higher to like 5 or 10 mil, you also have whales or like more disciplined traders who are waiting for a good entry. And so, like right here, we took our first big sell off, and then we have it's like a 10 or 15% move up. And so this is people who are waiting for a good entry. And so there's going to be some people, again, there's going to be a portion of people who are FOMOing into this and will buy late because they are making a bad decision. And then there's also going to be people who are making arguably a slightly better decision who are waiting for a good entry and will buy the dips. And so even if this does go down, like if we hit our 50% and bounce and we don't have good volume metrics, I'll exit. If we see an increase in volume and we break out, then we got really, really lucky. But either way, we can probably book a W with this one. Cross your fingers. Let's see what other people think and what chat has to say.
Okay, so to be honest, like it's making a lot of volume, bro. That seems pretty good.
Yeah,
I guess
honestly, I would like to see more. I want to see like 500K on the 5 minute for me to be really bullish on something like this. It's insane, but like 250K is kind of low for volume.
Yeah, I think we need to keep in mind that it launched like 3 hours ago. Like if it was a new launch, say within the last hour or half an or 30 minutes, it could probably make sense for it to make a million or 500K in volume within 5 minutes. But now since it launched 3 hours ago, or was it 4 hours ago?
It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, okay. I guess 300K is fine considering how recent it or how old it is.
I'm actually gonna eat, guys. I get a bad feeling about this. Maybe I'm just being like a pansy because the last 2 times I did this on live, uh, we got rugged.
Bro, yeah, you need to increase slippage in case it fails, bro. Like,
we also said we weren't gonna do memes like this live. So let's just watch this and see what happens.
yeah.
We're gonna lock in the 0.19 soul profit. There we go. What do we do? Let's go. 0.098 soul profit, guys. Book the W. But let's watch this and see what happens. I still
Yeah.
think
Okay.
I like this, but the one thing that I don't like is the volume. Like, and I know that Yusuf, your perspective is like very reasonable and normal to say that like 250 is like reasonable, but I specifically want to be LPing things with like 500K volume on 5 minute because that's like the sweet spot, and it's kind of goes back to this philosophy of LPing fewer positions but only doing really really high quality positions.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I guess your thought is reasonable as well, to be honest. I agree. I think we could see a dip down to the green line you have. I'm not sure if that's the 5.0.
It's, let's see. Does anyone in the audience have any coins they want us to take a look at?
Been doing decent, doing some swing trading with Sol. Sol USDC.
Yep.
It's been working great, printing fees and just catching the swings and adjusting the shape when the price moves.
You want to walk us through how to set up a top level, an S tier Sol USDC position?
Yeah, we can take a look at it. Give
Or
me a
maybe
second.
would you be cool doing the INF ISC?
We could do that. Yeah, let's take a look.
So over the weekend I tried to catch the dip on goat. We never got a chance, guys. The buyers didn't give us a chance. So let me pull this liquidity out.
Let me see if I got a. You want me to share my screen?
Please, yeah. You can tell us what you think we should do. Look at that, boys. We got 225 free goat.
Oh,
Whoever
looks like I can't share until you stop sharing.
whoever posts the best Meteora related meme before the jam ends gets this free goat, or I'll send it to your wallet. We're going to be basing it off of how hard it makes me laugh, and the other panelists how hard it makes them laugh too.
Okay, so Jack asked how much soul did we enter in the Medusa shitter. So we made a one-sided soul position on it all the way down to I think it was one
closed
two.
it. We actually
Oh, you
never,
closed it.
yeah, I never got like the transactions kept failing, and so I just closed it. But we'll check back
Yeah.
at the chart in a second to see how it turned out. The floor is yours if you want to tell us about the Sol USDC.
Yeah, if I can get into Meteora. Ben, looks like we're having some technical difficulties here right now.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day too.
Looks like App and Edge are having
What
issues.
happened? Wait, hold on. What's hold on.
We're
Can
getting
you send a
500
screenshot of it?
error.
You've got too many users, Ben.
No.
He's like, no.
Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, I think other folks have seen
A bug.
similar issues.
Wait,
Someone in chat said open through the old tab or use a full link.
This is the first time I see this.
Okay. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Hold on. It's because I went /DLMM. So Ben, I guess that the old endpoint, because I had it bookmarked on this, is generating that. So you guys may want to take a look at that.
Okay.
All right. So I've been doing basically some swing trading and LPing with Sol USDC, and I've been in the 20 bip pool, 20 bip, both on the 20 bin step and 20 bip. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. And so basically, the idea is, you want to essentially swing trade it through the DLMM. And what I mean by swing trading is, wherever it's ranging, you set up you can set up a combination of a spot and a bid ask. Spot being there to sort of support and provide constant fee generation, and then your bid ask to help you, either DCA in or DCA out, depending on which way the price is moving. So actually, what we can do is we can look at Bird Eye, because Bird Eye will give us a better idea of what the overall price movement is doing, since we're looking at Sol USDC. So, if you like Sol and you're bullish on Sol, and you want to take some profits or DCA in, have some of your money working for you, it's definitely a good strategy to take a look at. I'm going to turn off the volume profile. So right now we can see Sol's pumping, right? So, and if we go wider, maybe let's look a month out. Oops.
Geek, how do you protect against IL when the price goes down? Because I've tried doing this, but if price dumps a little bit, then sometimes I panic. I'm like, oh shit, I've gotta buy Sol again or something like that, and then I end up buying lower and buying higher and selling lower.
you gotta go wide. So I'll show you kind of two things that I do. Um, so what you want to do is you want to go fairly wide, and you want to go further than wherever kind of the recent low is, right? So if I were to set a bottom, you know I'd probably go lower. I mean, actually, you know what? Let me look at my actual position on my wallet. This is like, and we'll take a look and see where I was. So actually, I was fooling around a little bit here, but um, let's look at my portfolio.
Okay, so Medusa is actually getting a lot of volume right now. It's getting 420K in the main Radiant pool. So that means it's probably making like over 500K across all the pools.
So this is kind of my main position, and I'm like super wide here, right? So, and this isn't a position that I'm managing, every hour, I look at it every day. Like I come in and look and see where it's at, right? So my high end, is pretty damn high, right? 176. Um, and then my low end, and this is just the upper position, right? So I have a bid ask really wide up on the top from 153 to 176. And of course, this one, I haven't exited yet, and Sol hasn't really moved up that high in a while. But I am prepared for a pretty significant upswing with this side of the position. And then the bottom side, I've got, from this 153 all the way down to here. Now the nice thing is, I got alerts. I get alerts on Sol, like, if I see it move all the way down to maybe down to this range around 140, 142. And basically, if like half of my USDC has been consumed, then at that point, what I'll do is I'll withdraw, and then I'll flip it back to bid ask, and then I'll go even wider on the bottom range. So that way I can continue to acquire more if the price is going to continue to drop. So I might like say it got down to like 142 or 143. So I would do a full withdrawal, and then I would put the Sol back into this position in a bid ask. So, if we're down here to 143, we've got the triangle going back up the other way. And then I've got a new position down below that's going to be bid ask with, say, the other 500 in USDC, right? And then that would be from that, 130 point. And then I'd probably go like almost 69 bins further down, right? So, maybe like this, down 27%, maybe 27 and a half, something like that, right? So that way I'm ready for another dump, right? So I know there was a day where, it was almost like a flash crash on Sol, and it really dumped down to, I think it was like 109 or something like that. So the nice thing is that with a position like this, you're prepared for a continued downtrend. You're going to catch it. And again, if half of your USDC ends up getting consumed and you end up down here, you can do the same thing. You just keep opening those down positions and then flip whatever you have in a bid ask back the other way. So I've been doing this for I think a couple of months now, and I'm up, basically 10%. I'm up 10%, and I'm basically almost right where I started, right? So when I first started this position, Sol was trading at 153 and a half maybe, and of course now I've got some positive IL, but even with the positive IL, I've gotten a lot in fees. You can see here I've generated 108 in fees, so 118 in fees. So about half of what I have right now is positive IL, half of it is fees. So it's just a nice strategy to use, probably something similar to what Dan might do if he's long on Sol anyway.
I just have a question, Gigla, for you in regards to this position here, right? So what are you assuming? Like, are you assuming Solana to pump all the way up to your top range within like 2 to 5 days, or are you assuming it will pump like across several weeks?
I'm not making any assumptions. I'm assuming it's just going to continue to trade, and I'm going to continue to make fees, right? And I'm prepared for anything to happen.
Okay.
So I'm prepared for a pump, I'm prepared for a dump, and I'm prepared for sideways action. So
Yeah,
the
it's
thing
just
is
because
that nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what the fuck Solana's gonna do for the next, day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month.
Bro, it's October though.
But with this position, I'm prepared for a pump and I'm prepared for a dump. And because I've also got this layer of spot, I'm
Yeah.
prepared for sideways action. I mean, most likely, the way it's been trading, it'll probably continue to go sideways. But if something drastic does happen, I'm well positioned to catch fees and to DCA in or DCA out.
Yeah.
When you
I think that's interesting.
when you finish a position like this, and let's say that your price goes to your top end of your range, do you stay in stable, and do you just like use this as like a stable bag that you continue reallocating to DLMMs, or what's your strategy then if price tops out?
I think I would probably use the same strategy on the up end. So if roughly half of my soul bag is consumed, I would do the same thing. So I would do a full withdrawal, flip this back to bid ask the other way. So that way, if it dumps, I'm gonna DCA back in, and then if it continues to pump, I'm gonna continue selling more of it at a higher price. So, I'd probably continue to do that until I get to a point of diminishing return, right? Where basically my soul bag is all emptied out because I've realized all of the profit. And then I'm going to be left with USDC. But the same way, if it dumps and I end up with, $500 and I'm going to open up and create that new position down to the bottom side, I do the same thing on the top side, right? So right now, I think this had, a bit more, maybe closer to 8 soul. So if I get down to about 4 soul, like if it pumps enough to where I'm down to 4 soul, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll flip it back, the USDC back in this same range, put half in spot, half in bid ask, and then to do the same thing with the 4 soul on the upside, go 69 bins up higher from wherever the current price is. So that way I'll DCA out more of it at a higher price. The great thing about Sol is that it relatively speaking, it moves slow. Like when you're comparing it to meme coins, so you have plenty of time to react. There's plenty of liquidity in it, and it's not the kind of position where you have to be constantly monitoring it, hour after hour. It's something you can look at on a daily basis, or if you get an alert that all of a sudden, Sol is pumped up to 167, then you can act on it without too much issue, without, experiencing a whole lot of additional IL as you're trying to make those adjustments.
Mm.
Do you want to walk us through setting up the position? We can do probably want to put like 50 soul into, I want to do the ISC, what is it? Infinity one.
Okay, yeah, we can do it. I mean, strategy would be pretty similar. Let's take a look. If you want to share your screen.
Yeah, so I actually found Sugar's wallet. Yeah, he posted like a photon trade
Yeah.
with his total amount, and I was looking on top holders and I found his wallet.
What's the
So maybe the second best meme, I'll share his wallet with you guys.
yeah.
What was the bin step you were using for that, Keith? Because it seemed like
I'm in a 20 bin step.
and you were able to get that big of a range with 20 bins.
Yeah.
So this one's a 10 bin step. I don't want to create a new pool. I don't think we need to, but
Yeah, we can do 10 bin step. That's fine. And I think the way Solana's moving, I don't think you're probably not gonna get close to your end of your range anyway.
I think right. I feel like everyone has been waiting so long for like the real up movement.
Yeah.
I feel like I see people on crypto Twitter saying that we're gonna have like a big move down to like 40K Bitcoin. I feel like that has some
Hmm.
Bro, honestly, from what I've seen and from what I've heard from credible sources, in my opinion, is that we'll have an October, right?
Yeah, I really think
I believe choppy market for the last few. We have this U.S. election, right, in a few weeks. It's safe to assume that if Trump wins, I think, like, I really think everything will just pump, right? Like, we can expect Bitcoin to probably break its previous all-time high. Solana will probably just skyrocket. Everything will just be green for like yeah, that's just my assumption in regards to the coming US second election and the crypto markets. But obviously it depends, because it's not sure that Trump wins. And yeah.
So let's set up this ISE position, and then I want to come back to this chart. So this is like, don't buy this, guys. You should probably not even think about this or even look at it. But this is an example of a coin that went to 10 million and is essentially around. And so I want to take a look at it and see if we can find some differentiators between the on-chain data from this one and compare it to Medusa, which I think Medusa is somewhat more legit than this. But we have 25 SOL. We did like 12 and a half SOL of ISE because I don't want to take a big IL by not having not having Solana. So let's see, did that transaction go through? The wrong one. Okay, it just did. And so for those of you watching, this is actually like such a good strategy to learn, because whether or not like you're going for like really big gains with memes, or you just want to get better at regular DLMing, if you can book 100% APY on a stable / SOL pair or something similar, that's like so incredible. Like whether you take a bunch of profits near the peak of this cycle, or it's a year from now and you're in kind of like a pseudo bear market and crabbing sideways, like having these lower risk strategies in your repertoire is going to be really, really important. Because I think it was Dan who was saying it, like there comes a point in time in your trading career when you're no longer trying to do a 10x, but you're just trying to protect what capital you've accumulated. And this is like a really good strategy for doing so. So Geek, what should we do?
So open up a new tab. Let's take a look at, I want to see the INFIC chart. So you're not going to, it's the chart that you get from this market. It's not going to be really representative. So what you can do is go to Jupiter and then go to limit order. And then let's put ISC and SOL. And then that way we can get a decent chart we can look at.
Okay, if we do the ISC INF, or do you want to do ISC SOL?
So you got INF, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Let's do ISC INF.
And this is because the majority of volume is going to be represented here versus, why is our